Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and I have been out of town. I went fishing this weekend, so I got backlogged. I got so much stuff to cover the next couple of videos. We're having the Iran war going on, but like I've told you for many years, crypto is not about green candles, not about cartoon monkeys. It's about geopolitical issues. And it was all created to prevent World War III and replace the petrodollar. I've said that for a long time. While everybody was getting distracted by green candles and all the whatever the latest meme coin was, that is not why this stuff was created. Those were prototypes. What we're going through right now, in the short term, you might see a lot of pain, but for me, that's going to be opportunity. I'm watching XRP right now. It's at $1.35. When the stock market opens, if it crashes and causes crypto to crash, I'm ready to go in, and I will go in. Wanted to show you this because one of the places that I go in is with my iTrustCapital account. They are my partner. Kevin Cage did a Spaces with Jared from iTrustCapital to go over the treasury accounts that they just started doing. That means you can open an account with your business. If you have a trust account, you can open an account there. So you can go listen to that. He's at Kevin_Cage_. And then if you want to open an account, go to itrustcapital.com/XRP Army. You can get a $100 funding bonus. You can see right here, you can open an IRA, premium custody, or premium custody treasury account. I plan on doing that myself. Okay, don't forget, this is a new commercial for XRP Las Vegas. Doesn't matter what things feel like right now. Here's a prediction. I predict that by XRP Las Vegas, this market's rolling.
The future of finance isn't coming, it's being built right now. And this is where it happens. XRP Las Vegas 2026, the world's largest XRP conference. April 30th through May 1st at the iconic Paris Las Vegas Hotel. 2 days, one community, unlimited opportunity. Hear from the leaders shaping the next financial system. Brad Garlinghouse, David Schwartz, Chris Giancarlo, John Deaton, Paul Barron, Ashish Burla, Chris Brummer, and Caroline Pham, former CFTC commissioner and now chief legal officer at MoonPay. Developers, innovators, and investors from around the globe compete in the EZA Hackathon.
$100,000 in prize money. Any of you builder developers, you need to go sign up, and so you can present your product or service
with up to $100,000 in prize money for the next big idea built on the XRP ledger. Register now in the EZA app. And this year, Ripple joins as the premier sponsor of the world's largest XRP gathering. If you're building, if you're investing, if you believe XRP is the North Star, you need to be in the room at XRP Las Vegas 2026. Get your $589 ticket before they go away. Hurry, discount ending soon. Secure your ticket now at XRPLasVegas.com.
Secure your tickets. Go to XRPLasVegas.com. Okay, check it out. This was one of the things that I didn't get to play from last week. This is Brad Garlinghouse. He says that there's not one switch, there's multiple switches.
There's not one switch. There's 100 switches. There's 1,000 switches. And it's all of these little switches. And bit by bit by bit until it really does, I think, have an exponential impact.
Take note, XRP as the North Star.
And I think you're starting to see that. It's taken a little longer in some cases. But on the other hand, we've made so much progress. And you're seeing more and more of these little switches flip. And it's the reason why I have so much optimism about both 2026 and certainly beyond. And look, part of that truly is you all are one of those flip switches. Like seeing the passion in Australia, seeing the passion, we're on a kind of world tour right now, and Like, it's awesome. And each of these individual things and the advocacy and clarifying and debunking the FUD and the misinformation, like, it's all part of the number of switches that are being flipped. And I think at some point you're gonna feel like, oh my gosh, the switch did get flipped. But it wasn't one. It was the culmination of a decade of those events.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir. We are a switch. This blew me away. This right here shows you just how slimy Gary Gensler is. He had, when Gary Gensler had his political allies like Senator Elizabeth Warren and they were in power, he was willing to tie Ripple up for 4+ years in a lawsuit. And then once the political tides turn, behind the scenes, he goes to Brad Garlinghouse and tells him he was wrong. You gotta be freaking kidding me.
Anyway, he comes up to me and he says sorry. He comes up to me and he's like, "Oh, wait, no, I'm sorry. I was wrong." And you guys...
Wrong about what specifically? Wrong about XRP being a security? Wrong about tying them up for 4+ years? Wrong about keeping the XRP price low and keeping Ripple in a lawsuit while he allowed others to thrive, like FTX, Tether, a lot of these people like Circle that never was gone after. I'm telling you, this was all by design. This was intentional.
He's done an incredible job, and
it's called regulatory capture.
It's kind of weird that it happened at the White House, but like...
While JP Morgan was allowed to create JP Morgan coin, nobody went after them.
I think if we stay the course, we keep doing what we're doing, we keep focusing on utility, I'm incredibly optimistic about the road ahead.
Yeah, what I love about this story is that we took the longer path, but that was the correct.
But remember, no matter what happens with clarity, guess who has legal clarity? Guess who's the only digital asset that has legal clarity? Gone through a lawsuit. JP Morgan says Clarity Act could be the catalyst crypto needs, with a clear regulatory framework potentially unlocking institutional capital and driving a significant upside move to H2 2026. And then this is David Sachs. Patrick Witt's doing an amazing job brokering a compromise between banks and crypto industry. No one is working harder to get market structure legislation across the finish line. By the way, crypto has made major concessions on stablecoin yield. Time for the banks to reciprocate. Brad Garlinghouse says the door to a deal is wide open. The banks just need to act in good faith and walk through it. And then here's Matt Hogan saying kind of what I just said. You think it's a coincidence that a lot of these companies were left alone while others were attacked so that they could gain market share? No, this regulatory capture and these regulators, it's dirty business. And you have to wonder who's behind the scenes making sure it happened this way.
Or should they look outside of that?
So it's a dominant player. I have this thesis on equities like Circle and Coinbase, which is they have this unique advantage that the regulatory
Circle, early Goldman Sachs backing
environment was so hostile that the period where natural competitors would build up in their markets never happened. So there's no reason that Coinbase should have the market share it has. The reason it has the market share it has is well-funded competitors were hard to come by. You had Kraken, which is doing exceptionally well now and gaining share, but it has a far larger position than it should, right? It should have been like the brokerage market where there was Schwab and Fidelity and Interactive Brokers and E-Trade and all these other people competing for share. And that didn't happen for Coinbase, and it didn't happen in stablecoins for Circle. So it has a lead that is bigger than it should.
Why didn't it happen?
And I suspect it's going to be able to sustain a big chunk of that lead, even as other competitors come into the market. So yeah, I think it has this embedded regulatory moat that it shouldn't have, but it does. And it's pressing that advantage, and it looks like it's going to stay ahead.
Don't ever forget, many of the people from Coinbase, their board, they were at the SEC and in those meetings for the Ethereum free pass. And also don't forget, it's not a coincidence that all the tokens, the early tokens on the Coinbase platform were either Bitcoin or Ethereum and Ethereum-based tokens for years. Almost like it was giving them an advantage for years. Well, you had to beg them to list XRP. Friendly reminder, this is a great point from Vet. Friendly reminder that every ounce of yield you get offered for your XRP, you're paying for with some amount of risk. Rarely do people dive deep enough to understand where the yield is coming from at the core. It's part of DeFi, but don't sleep on good due diligence. 1000% right. And then the New York Times, folks, this has happened. I've been through all these bear markets in crypto. It happens every time. And I think it's by design. These Wall Street people, it's like a pile on of negativity where they get there, they feed all these news articles to, and it's always this typical media agency like the New York Times, and they run all these negative agencies. It's like they're trying to just tamp it down, keep tamping crypto down. And what do you think they're doing while all this is going on? They're buying. That's what they're doing. Well, guess who else is? Me. Crypto is pointless. Not even the White House can fix that. And Stuart Alderati hits them. As president of the National Crypto Association, I've submitted numerous letters and opinions pieces to the New York Times to counter their lazy and outdated narrative that crypto is useless. All have been ignored. It's dangerously irresponsible to dismiss millions of real Americans relying on crypto today to make their lives better. Want the facts and clear, accessible information about crypto? NCA is there to help. Tom Lee says March is going to be a turnaround month.
Part of me, Scott, just thinks this has just been a tough February, and it makes people feel like it's a bear market and we're down 1% for the month. I think March is going to be a turnaround month for the better. I don't think the economy's slowing. In fact, if you look at things like rejection rates for trucking, it actually points to the economy probably accelerating. So I think if there is a growth scare, it's really just more of a risk premium than it is companies actually delivering news that would scare you about the economy.
Well, I think March and April are going to be really interesting, but I think that a real opportunity is going to present itself possibly with XRP over the next couple of days with all the uncertainty around the Iran war. I got so much more for the next video, but we're going to go in the group now, and I'm going to show you what I think the bigger picture is, and I really find it interesting. A couple of guys that came along who they seem to know the bigger picture for XRP. It's a bigger picture that I've been saying for 8 years on this channel, and it all appears to be coming together. Go to DAIXRP.com for the Patreon. If you'd rather join through YouTube, click join below any of these videos. If you'd rather join through X, hit subscribe. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, tell your friends and family. Let me go show you what the bigger picture of all this is. Here we go.